Now that we've installed Kali Linux, we can move on to username and password. The username we set up initially was root, so we'd enter the username root here and make sure you remember the password that you set up in the installation process. So that password will be entered on the next screen so we can log into the Kali Linux system. Once we log in, you will see the Kali Linux desktop. And if you are a Ubuntu user, this should look very familiar because the icons on the left-hand side would be very similar to what you're used to if you've been using Ubuntu for any period of time. So you'll see this is the interface. On the left-hand side, we've got all the icons, which you can add other icons to quick load different programs. And we want to go to see some of the options within Kali Linux to make sure that the system has been set up correctly. So for that, we have the terminal here. I can click on the terminal, and this is where we'll be using most of the functions from. So I can type in here to see what the system details include. So for now, I'm going to type in ifconfig, which shows the IP address of my particular machine. So if I hit enter now, that'll show me a little bit about the IP addresses. That's my IP address here, and we are using a NAT connection. So if we go to the settings above here under devices, network settings, you'll see it's attached to NAT. So that would mean that I can now browse the internet. I just want to confirm that. So let's ping a Google website and see whether that pings properly. Let me enter that. And as you can see, it is pinging. Everything is fine. All the drivers are installed, so I don't need to reinstall any other drivers. Now I can just enter a few times here to get this clear. And now I want to show you the home page. So here you'll see all the settings, desktop, documents, pictures, etc. Everything you download will go in the downloads folder here, and all your documents will be stored in the documents folder, pictures, etc. If I want to go and see how much disk space we have, I can go to df-h, and that'll show you the settings for this particular machine. You'll see here it's got 16 gigabyte worth of space. That's my data drive. And we created the partitions earlier, so this shows that I've used 7.6 gigabyte with the installation process, and now 7.2 gigabyte is available. You'll also note that I've got a partition, the boot drive here, which was done with the 500 megabyte partition earlier. It was 500 megabytes, so I've used 37 megabyte, of which 453 megabyte is the size of it. There should be a swap drive here. Let me show you how to get the swap. Free-M will show you how to. Let's clear this and I'll type in free-M will show you the swap drive and all the swap space available and the RAM that's available to this machine. You'll see that I've got almost 1 gigabyte of memory available, and 3814, which was 4 gigabyte that we set up in the installation process, for 4 gigabyte swap space. You'll also note that 286 megabytes free, and all the swap memory is still available. Now let's have a look at a few other settings. Let's look at the CPUs. We had set up 2 CPUs initially, so I'll type in more/proc/CPU info. This goes into the proc directory to get the CPU information. So let me see what the runtime information of our CPUs include, and let's see what that goes like. So you'll see there's a processor 0, which has the processor that of this machine, which is an Intel Core i5, as I've listed here. And that gives you Core i5 information for this particular CPU. Given that we've got 2 CPUs, let's just go to more and we'll see the second CPU. Yes, processor CPU 1, which is also set up as the Core i5 processor, as I'm highlighting right here. So this is the Core i5 section, which now includes 2 CPUs as we had set up in the installation process. Now, let's just see what else I can show you quickly. We've checked, let's ping, we already pinged, sorry. Let's go to a browser and let's have a look at whether we can open the internet and make sure that's all working. So let's go to google.com. Just type in google.com here. And once we've entered google.com, let's just see if the web page actually loads up and confirm the internet's working on this machine. It should take a few seconds because obviously it's still confirming all the ports and all the settings, and Google is working. So that's perfect. From a web browser perspective, that's all seems to be working. And we've looked at pinging the website, we've looked at internet, we've looked at the CPUs, we've looked at the computer information, the hard disk space, and the processors as well. So we've confirmed that all is working. In the next videos, we'll show how we can set up with a Wi-Fi card. For now, we're using an Ethernet card. In the later videos, we'll demonstrate using wireless cards set up in Kali Linux so we can see what that looks like.